look at the rigs. I did have 2 of my rods set up on helicopter setups before I got here. I intended to put 2 close in on the helicopters, but I got down here, I just weren't feeling it. I'm seeing quite a few fish in the area. Like I said, I was planning on putting a little bit of bait out quite close in, because you know, one of them lakes that maybe it doesn't see that very often, and I know that fish come in this close this time of year. Obviously it's May, but anyway, I decided to go for, when I got there, I decided to go for 3 solid bags, simply because there's a lot of fish in the area. Well, a fair few fish in the area. Some of them are very close in. I imagine getting the last of the tadpoles. There's not many left, there's a few in there. And tadpoles, how big are they? Not huge, so I've gone for tiny little baits. This is the one that I'm putting the closest in. I brought some maggots with me, so I've got the kids coming down tomorrow. So, bit of corn, bit of maggot over the top of that, really close in. I've seen a fish roll 3 times off the reeds, so that's going there on a solid bag. I've got a leader on that one, just to keep it pinned down a little bit, because obviously it's a bit closer in. These 2, different colour hook baits, match the hatch, and a bit more of a bright one. Again, solid bags. I'm not going to put any bait out at all. I'm just going to flick them tight to the island, or where I've seen the fish, which are mainly quite tight. The only ones I've seen that aren't tight, been quite high up, so I might try zigs tomorrow, but 7 o'clock nearly now, so it's getting dark. Well, not dark, but you know, it's coming night, so I feel like I'm going to stick them out on the deck, maybe get the zigs out tomorrow morning. Anyway, that's my thinking behind that. Yeah, get these out in solid bags, and then happy days. Like I say, this one's going to have maggot and corn. That's going to be thrown over after I've put the bag out. The bag's full of pellets and little bits and pieces. The other 2 solid bags with a bit of hemp, bit of pellet, bit of corn, this, that and the other, chopped boilie, bit of glug. So yeah, happy days, see what happens. I've just turned up. It's looking pretty good already. I'm in peg 10, and there's fish right in the middle. Few little shows on the island as well. Seems like there's a fair few fish in this swim. Peg 9's empty. I've seen them probably less than 3 rod lengths out, and I've just seen one in peg 9, probably a rod length out, really tight in the margin. Yeah, it's looking good. It's looking like some fish. A few fish have been coming out from the opposite side of the lake. Not many people are fishing around here, so yeah, let's get 3 nights ahead of me. Let's get on them. Let's see if I can spin this around. I don't know if I can. How do I do that? No, not sure on here. But I'll show you the lake. It's just started to rain, so I'm going to be quick and then get the bivvy set up. But I don't know what you can see on there. For some reason I can't work out how to turn my camera around. There's one actually mid-water at the moment, you won't be able to see it on the camera. Cheers. Let's have a good session. Just seen a fish 2 or 3 times now, right on them reeds. It's only a small fish. It's been rolling. I mean, bearing in mind that's 18, 20 yards. It's literally less than a minute, well, probably less than 20 seconds ago that it rolled the first time, or the last time. So we can get it on camera. Oh, a little bit of movement in the background as well. Oh no, that's a reed. I ain't going to do this for too long, so I've got stuff to set up, but give it another 15 seconds, give it a minute. No doubt it will do it as soon as I turn the camera off. Oh well, it's not going to make another appearance, but there's plenty going on. It's beautiful, beautiful little peg. do like the islands. It's not for everyone, and it's not somewhere I fish every week, but it's lovely to have your own bit of water and your own privacy. Got the kids coming down. Nothing to report last night. The mate opposite me had a decent fish. I reckon about 11 o'clock last night. I could see him quite clearly. He's only 100 yards away from me, maybe 110, something like that. He had his light shining on the fish. I don't know, it looked like an upper 20, maybe even a 30. It was a very good fish. To look that big from this far away anyway. However, I've realised that everyone's using bait boats. I didn't know it was a bait boat water. Well, I say everyone. People that are around me are, and I haven't heard any casting. So I've changed my plans because I can't compete with getting it as tight as they can to the islands, which they may or may not be feeding on. I don't know, but for the time being, I've wound in one of my rods. I'm going to keep one on the island, and I'm going to fish a little overhang with a solid bag, because that way, you know, if I do clip the tree on the way through, it should be okay. I'm going to get that bag set up now, and I'll put that on film, see if we can film it hitting the island. Well, not hitting the island, but see what we can do. And the other two, because like I say, I can't compete with bait boats if the fish are tight against the islands, which is where they seem to be showing, aside from the ones that are cruising. So the ones that are cruising, I'm going to go for 2 zigs. Never fished zigs down there. I've only fished her a handful of times. Last time was a good 4 years ago, aside from one when my bivvy blew away in Storm Doris last year with my mate, the tench tickler. But I left at 2 o'clock in the morning because it was a bit windy and my bivvy blew away, so that was a bit of a waste of trip. Anyway, yeah, so here's my little solid bag rig that I'm going to put out in a minute. Stick that one out. Nice tight to the island, which I'll try and get on film. And then I'm going to put 2 zigs out, different lengths, and just keep them flicking around the swim, probably until later on this afternoon, 5-6 o'clock, to see where I am. See what happens. So. Looks like it's flicked off the little branch it was hung over. It's definitely worth an hour or two. I think that's fishing. The way my line's sinking towards me tells me that line's sinking down nicely. Obviously where it's clipped the tree, I want to be doubly sure that it's not hung up. And a little trick that I found for that is the distance away that the line is sitting in the water. It just shows you that it's coming right back in. Even if I tighten it up, it's not really high in the water, which tells me that it's gone down, which is great. So yeah, maybe that's a bite. Try and compete with them bait boats. The other two are going on zigs. I'm going to do them now. Happy days. Right, a little update on the fishing. I have still only caught one fish, which I caught from up in that little bay. I put out 1.5 kilos roughly of pellet, boilie, crumb, corn mainly really, to be honest, and I did that last night and put about 0.5 kilo of boilie on it yesterday afternoon even. That's where I caught the fish from. But this morning, well, last night after I caught that fish, before going to bed, I put a bit more bait out. I thought maybe they're going to get on it, but I blanked last night. Anyway, put all 3 rods on it today. The kids are gone. All 3 rods up in that little cove, and had them up perfectly, and I had fucking ducks diving on me, and I caught one of the little bastards. Well, it fell off about there, luckily. The little ducklings, they've been a pain in the arse, been wiped out of them a few times now. So I've decided to just stick one rod on the baited spot on a not so bright hook bait, a bit more of a match the hatch. I fished nice and tight on the far island on my baited spot. Well, half a rod length off. That's on a match the hatch now, and then I've put one on each point. Well, one just off the point here where I saw a couple of fish yesterday sat in the margin. Another one towards peg 9. Both just on little mesh bags. No, sorry, little solid bags. Just to let them ducks calm down, because they're fucking doing my head in. I don't want to catch any more, so like I said, I've got 1 rod on that and 2 back here. Tonight I'm going to put all 3 on the rod on the bait. So yeah, happy days. Hopefully I'll have something. Wiped out by the mallards for a 4th time. Fucking pain in the arse. Still no more fish though. Got more on that baited spot in this little cove. Quite a bit of bait out there actually, a lot more than what I thought I'd be putting out. But I had that fish last night, yesterday afternoon, about this time actually, with a lot of bait out there. So I did the same thing again, see what happens. I did put a little bit more out 9-10 o'clock last night as well. I haven't had the fish since that, but that was mainly little bits and pieces, so there's a good chance a lot of that's been picked off anyway, especially by the ducks. So I've just put out another 1.5 kilo or so. Who knows?